At this point, we would like to begin our celebration this evening, and I'd like to invite everybody to find your way to your seats, and if you can, bring a glass with you. As you're making your way to your seats, I'm going to go ahead and get started because I know we have a number of activities tonight. Good evening and welcome, everyone. We are glad you could be here. My name is Rich Truitt, the class of '66. While I was a student at Swarthmore, I was honored to serve as the captain of the men's basketball and baseball teams. Tonight, I'm welcoming you in my capacity as the chair of the Garnet Club Advancement Council, or GCAC. You'll hear those initials as we go through the evening from time to time. The Garnet Club Advancement Council is comprised of members of the alumni body, parents, faculty and coaches, friends of Swarthmore, and with the great support of both the athletics department and the staff in the advancement office. This group has been active over the last several years in several different areas of activity. We've divided our work into 3 groups. One group that focuses on growing and strengthening the athletics and wellness community of the college. A second group that focuses on providing career and other support and guidance to current and past student athletes at Swarthmore. And thirdly, another group focuses on increasing resources made available for the athletics and wellness programs of the college. So it's an active group. We have a business meeting tomorrow, but tonight we're just here and happy to be part of this celebration. This evening's event is to celebrate and honor this year's inductees to the Hall of Fame. It is also an opportunity to recognize the excellence in academics and athletics of athletes over the generations at Swarthmore. And it is also an opportunity to acknowledge the support of those student athletes in their time here at Swarthmore and afterwards. So it is now my honor to propose a toast, which I'll ask you to join me in just a moment, to honor all 6 of this year's inductees into the Swarthmore College Hall of Fame, to honor their families and friends who have supported them on their academic and athletic journeys, and to all who have supported athletics and scholarship at the college over generations. Whatever your support, whatever your sport, and whatever your connection to that support at Swarthmore College, we honor you and celebrate you tonight. If you can please join me in a toast to these folks. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. It's a good way to test whether you can hear me through the microphone. Thank you, Rich, for such a warm welcome and for your continued dedication to the athletics program as well as to Swarthmore. Hello, everyone. I'm Kuf Kalkstein, class of 1978, and the chair of the Board of Managers here at Swarthmore. I'm delighted to welcome you all to this year's Garnet Athletics Hall of Fame ceremony. Tonight, we come together to celebrate and honor the outstanding athletes who have earned their place in Swarthmore's Hall of Fame. And having met a good number of you already this evening, what an impressive group you all are. Tonight's celebration is about lifting up the accomplishments of these talented athletes while reflecting on the invaluable lessons imparted by college athletics to the entire Swarthmore community. To participate in a sport takes more than just physical fitness. It requires diligence and a commitment to one's goals, as well as a spirit of collaboration and teamwork. The mix of rigor and passion, individual effort, and yet care for the larger community exemplifies Swarthmore's mission to educate the whole person and lead for the common good. Your support for Swarthmore Athletics not only helps our students set records and win championships, which is a wonderful thing, but it also fosters the lessons of teamwork and dedication that they will carry with them well beyond graduation. The Garnet Club Advancement Council plays a vital role in supporting our athletics program through their guidance, philanthropy, and programming for our students, parents, alumni, and friends. Their commitment reflects the powerful impact athletics programming has on a community like ours. Could the members of the Advancement Council who are here tonight please stand so that we may take a moment to thank you for your leadership? So thanks to the Council and to all of you who have joined us here tonight for the support you've shown the college and its fantastic athletes, and to this new class of inductees into the Hall of Fame, a very well-deserved congratulations. And now it is my pleasure to introduce President Val Smith.
Good evening, everybody. It's my pleasure to welcome you all and to thank you so much for joining us at this festive occasion. I am thrilled to be with you all on this evening when we have a chance to recognize 6 outstanding student athletes and celebrate the enduring legacy of athletics at Swarthmore. This evening's honorees represent several decades with contributions across multiple athletics programs. Our Director of Athletics, Brad Koch, will share their individual stories, but I want to thank them collectively for their dedication, skill, and sportsmanship, which have left a lasting impact on Swarthmore Athletics. From achieving records in multiple sports, to setting national and Paralympic records, to earning All-American honors, each of our honorees has demonstrated remarkable excellence, both on and off the field. Whether breaking scoring records, winning conference titles, or dedicating a lifetime to Swarthmore Athletics, their contributions continue to inspire current and future generations of student athletes. Let's give them all a round of applause. And please also join me in applauding the coaches, trainers, and administrative staff team in athletics led by Brad, and the alumni, parents, faculty, students, and staff who volunteer their valuable time as part of the Garnet Club Advancement Council. Now, as Koof mentioned, athletics is fundamental to the college's mission and plays a crucial role in Swarthmore's holistic approach to education. Through sports, our students learn how to collaborate with others, develop determination and resilience, and cultivate lasting habits of health and wellness. As a liberal arts college, we are committed to educating the whole student and providing co-curricular opportunities that support learning and development across a variety of dimensions. This commitment means ensuring that athletics continues to offer not only competition, but also opportunities for personal growth, leadership, and building community. As we look ahead, the focus on well-being and mental health outlined in Swarthmore Forward aligns with how we support our students both in their academic pursuits and in their physical and emotional development. The planned upgrades to our athletics facilities reflect the broader strategic vision of campus renewal. This investment supports the well-being of the entire Swarthmore community, ensuring that our students have the resources they need to excel on and off the field. But tonight we are here to honor 6 individuals who embody the core values of Swarthmore. Congratulations again to them and to their families. And again, thank you all for being here to celebrate with us. I'll now turn the program over to Brad.
that back when the inductees come up. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can everyone hear me okay? Yes. All right. I want to thank you, Val, Koof, and Rich, for your words this evening and for all your ongoing support of our student athletes and our programs. What a turnout. It's clear that the group in this room is here to support our inductees and the love and adoration that you have for the inductees and their families. It's a special night, so I really want to welcome everyone here. As Val mentioned, Brad Koch, I'm the Marion Ware Director of Athletics, Physical Education, and Recreation, and I'm honored to serve as your MC tonight for the induction of 6 exceptional inductees for our Swarthmore College Hall of Fame class of 2024. So to begin, I would like to take us back in time and take a trip for some down memory lane. So what was happening in 1933? In 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, was inaugurated. Prohibition was repealed. The original King Kong film was released in New York City on March 2nd. It was the first feature film to use stop-motion animation modules. The very first Major League Baseball All-Star game was held at Comiskey Park in Chicago on July 6th as part of Chicago's World's Fair. Meanwhile, at Swarthmore, despite enjoying strong popularity, sororities at Swarthmore were disbanded. Female students, in an effort run by the Women's Student Government Association, voted to abolish the system. Swarthmore hosts its first of 4 consecutive Institute of Race Relation conferences, held for 6 weeks in the summer for educators, social workers, labor leaders, students, and employers to study and discuss racial conflict and to formulate techniques that would help create understanding. And 4-sport athlete named Bill Stetson graduated from Swarthmore College. Bill left an indelible, lifelong mark on Swarthmore Athletics as a student athlete, coach, and administrator. A standout in soccer, golf, basketball, and baseball, Bill made his biggest impact on the soccer pitch with 2 All-American selections in 1931 and 1932. As a coach, he led the 1974 men's soccer team to a runner-up finish at NCAA National Championships, while coaching to a 77-60-12 mark over 15 seasons. He also accumulated 122 and 121 record over 14 seasons as the men's basketball coach, leading the squad to the MASC Southern Division Championship in 1947. Bill went on to become the longest acting athletic director in department history, serving from 1949 to 1976. I have a long way to go. So I would also like to share, and this is from an alum who played under Bill, and it's from John Wellmiller, class of 1966. And this is a note that he sent me, and I thought it would be a nice window into Bill's character. Brett, I will not be able to attend the Hall of Fame dinner, so I just want to connect to let you know of many fond memories of playing for Bill Stetson during my time at Swarthmore. I joined the soccer team as a very green freshman in the fall of 1962 and managed to be a 4-year starter during a reasonably successful set of seasons. Although I came to Swarthmore not really expecting to participate in athletics, I felt a bit humbled to be invited to join the soccer program for preseason in 1962, and as they say, the rest is history. And this I thought was really special to hear this. But Bill had a tradition of giving small gifts to his players at the end of each season. I still remember being deeply honored when he gave me a copy of John Kennedy's Profiles in Courage after a season that was challenged by a series of recurring injuries. So congratulations to Bill. Round of applause for the Stetson family. Okay, 1988. What was happening in 1988? George H.W. Bush was elected as the 41st President of the United States in a Republican landslide. A federal smoking ban is introduced during domestic airline flights of 2 hours or less. Rain Man was tops at the box office, and CDs outsold vinyl records for the first time. At the 1988 Summer Olympics in Seoul, South Korea, Canadian Ben Johnson was stripped of his 100-meter gold medal after testing positive for steroids. Meanwhile, at Swarthmore, Michael Dukakis, class of '55, visited the college in April in the midst of his campaign as the Democratic candidate for president. The Swarthmore Historical Society was founded, and two-time Middle Atlantic Conference first-team selection for field hockey and one-time first-team selection for softball named Annie Fetter was making an impact in her three varsity sports, field hockey, basketball, and softball. Annie is 10th all-time in career goals as a member of the field hockey team, while ranking 7th in career assists for women's basketball. She also holds 4 top 10 career marks on the softball record book, ranking 6th in runs, 7th in on-base percentage, 8th in batting average, and 9th in walks. In addition to her Middle Atlantic Conference first-team selections, Annie was also named PAIAW Softball Athlete of the Year and Field Hockey Regional All-American during her senior year. She was also a recipient of the May E. Perry Award for successful careers across 3 sports. So congratulations to Annie. 2001. Aside from the devastating events of September 11th, what else was happening in 2001? President Bill Clinton awards former U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt a posthumous Medal of Honor for his service during the Spanish-American War. 11 of Roosevelt's descendants accept on his behalf. 2 of my favorite movies, Shrek debuts in theaters, Gladiator wins Best Picture and Best Actor Oscars at the Academy Awards. The multiple Tony Award-winning musical The Producers by Mel Brooks and Thomas Meehan, starring Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick, opens on Broadway at the St. James Theater. Meanwhile, at Swarthmore, the college offered 50 co-ed roommate options in the lodges and 2 sections of Worth. The option was intended to be an experiment to see if it would meet the needs of students. The Swarthmore mock trial team placed 2nd at the 2001 American Mock Trial Association AMTA National Championship Tournament. And one of the top distance athletes in program history captured All-America status in the 5,000 and 10,000 meter events at the 2001 NCAA Outdoor Championships, becoming the first Swarthmore male athlete to capture a pair of All-American selections in the same season. Marc Jeuland was also a 2-time Centennial champion in the 5,000 meter run, becoming the only athlete in program history to sweep the 5,000 meter and 10,000 meter races at the Centennial Championships. He still holds program records in both the outdoor 5,000 meter and 10,000 meter events. In addition to his accolades around the track, Marc experienced tremendous success as a member of the cross-country team with 3 career All-Centennial selections. The 3-sport standout earned 2nd team honors in 1998 and 1999 while racing to first-team status with a runner-up finish in 2000. He was the first of 2 male cross-country athletes to earn 3 straight All-Centennial selections. Marc was a winner of both the Robert Dunn and the Lou Elverson Awards. Congratulations, Marc, for your award. We have 2 inductees from 2012. What else was happening in 2012? Well, President Barack Obama was elected for a 2nd term as president. NASA's Curiosity rover landed on the surface of Mars. The K-pop artist Psy's hit single, Gangnam Style, became a cultural phenomenon. The Summer Olympics took place in London, and the U.S. again topped the medal tally with 105 total medals. Love the Phoenix that's up top of that. And meanwhile, at Swarthmore hosted the Signing Hands Across the Water Poetry Festival, the first of its kind, featuring deaf poets signing in both American and British Sign Language. Renowned alum and philanthropist Eugene Lang, class of 1938, a generous supporter for the college for more than 4 decades, announced a gift totaling $50 million, the largest gift in then nearly 150-year history. And 3-time first-team selection Genevieve Pezzola broke ground as the first player in program history to earn All-Centennial first-team honors for volleyball. Genevieve graduated with the program's all-time kills record, 1374 and is one of 4 players in program history to reach 1,000 career kills and digs. She currently ranks 2nd all-time in career kills, 4th in digs, and 7th in aces, while also holding 4 single-season marks inside the program's top 10. Genevieve was also recognized as a member of the Centennial Conference Silver Anniversary Team, while also excelling in the classroom as a Philly-SIDA Academic All-Area and Co-SIDA Academic All-District recipient during her senior year. Wow. On the basketball court, she played 4 seasons for the Garnet while breaking the program record with 8 3-pointers in a single game. She was awarded the Eleanor K. Kess Award as a sophomore, while culminating her career with the Denny Rath Award. So, congratulations to Denny. Also in 2012, Lyft car sharing service was launched. Google's Gmail became the world's most popular email service. Stephen Hawking won the $3 million fundamental physics prize, the most lucrative academic prize in the world. The Hunger Games was released in theaters. And also one of my favorite movies, The Avengers was the highest grossing movie of the year. Meanwhile, at Swarthmore, Swarthmore College entered its first official submission for Town Center West, the future home of the Inn at Swarthmore, Broad Table Tavern, and the expanded campus and community store. Swarthmore held its inaugural College Access Summit, aimed at boosting enrollment of underrepresented students by bringing more than 50 counselors and advisors from Mid-Atlantic high schools, colleges, and universities, and community-based organizations together to exchange perspectives and develop solutions. And at Swarthmore, a men's swimmer made waves outside of Swarthmore, setting 2 Paralympic American records. An above-knee amputee, Travis Pollen, broke the Paralympic S9 American record in the 100 freestyle with a time of 54.80, while competing for the Garnet at the 2010 Centennial Conference Championships. He went on to capture a national championship in his classification for the 50 freestyle, while pacing 2nd overall in the 100 freestyle at the 2010 U.S. Paralympic Spring Swimming Nationals. Travis's time in the 50 free, 28.47, ranked 2nd in the United States for his classification and 24th in the world. The following year, he shattered the 50 freestyle record as a member of the Garnet with a time of 24.74 at the Centennial Championships, claiming his 2nd Paralympic record. Travis was awarded ESPN, the magazine, Academic All-District in 2009-2010. So congratulations to Travis. 2014. What was happening in 2014? The world's oldest message in a bottle was found in a beer bottle that washed ashore after 101 years. Apple introduced the mobile pay service Apple Pay. The Ice Bucket Challenge to benefit AL research went viral. I'm sure a lot of us did that. Jay Leno hosted The Tonight Show for the last time. And Taylor Swift's album 1989 has the biggest selling debut week in more than a decade. I had to put that in there as I have a 13-year-old daughter who's very much a Swiftie. So she'll be proud. Meanwhile, at Swarthmore, the Matchbox opens on campus as Swarthmore's new fitness center, replacing the old squash courts. Swarthmore College launched its Instagram account, one of our student athletes, and Phineas. And a two-time All-American becomes one of the most decorated and accomplished student athletes in women's basketball program history. After capturing an All-American honorable mention in 2013, Katie Lytle closed out her Swarthmore career with All-American first team and academic All-American second team nods. As a senior, Katie was honored as the Centennial Conference nominee for NCAA Woman of the Year after capturing back-to-back Player of the Year awards in her final 2 seasons. Statistically, she became the 3rd player in program history to eclipse 1,000 career points and rebounds. She ranks 3rd all-time in career rebounds and 7th in career points, while also appearing inside the top 10 for career blocks, steals, and free throws made. Whew, that's stuffing the stat sheet for sure. Katie still holds the single-season record for rebounds and is tied with Hall of Famer Catherine Stockbauer for most rebounds in a single game at 24. She also competed as a member of the track and field team in 2014, where she threw javelin and placed 4th in the heptathlon at the Centennial Championships. Katie was recognized for her excellence on the court with back-to-back Gladys Irish Awards. So congratulations to each of our inductees and welcome to our Hall of Fame. Before we get started with our first induction, I would like to introduce and welcome back to Swarthmore the following members of our Hall of Fame. Catherine Riley, Hall of Fame class of 2023 softball. Daniel Duffy, inaugural Hall of Fame class of 2012, and again in 2016, field hockey and track and field. Ed Green, Hall of Fame class of 2013, and again in 2014, baseball, football, and 1984 football team. I had Dave Doherty, Hall of Fame class of 2019, as a member of the 1974 men's soccer team. Dave? Hey, Dave. Larry Shaw, Hall of Fame class of 2019, member of the 1974 men's soccer team. And Lynn Schofield, Hall of Fame class of 2016, 1996 field hockey team. Hi, Lynn. I would also like to introduce members of our president's staff in attendance tonight. Rob Goldberg, Vice President for Finance and Administration. Rob somewhere, I forgot. Aaron Brownlee-Dell, Chief of Staff and Secretary of the College. Sarah Pearson, Interim Vice President for Advancement. Sarah. Jim Bach, he may be in and out, but Jim Bach was here, Vice President and Dean of Admissions. Okay. Kathleen Howard, Acting Provost and Dean of the Faculty. Andy Hirsch, Vice President for Communications. Andy. Jason Parkhill, Chief Information Technology Officer. Thank you, Jason. As a member of senior staff, I know how hard this group works, and it's just a pleasure to be a part of that group. Okay, we have several members, as Koof had mentioned, of our Garnet Club Advancement Council joining us here this evening, and Rich talked about that as well. So I just want to offer my special thanks for all your stewardship and commitment to our student athletes and programs. Please also, later in the program, we'll have many of our scholar athletes joining us here later, so it'll be great to see some of our student athletes when we conclude the program. And finally, I would also like to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, to which some of us are here, for all their efforts and commitment to the selection process, which is no easy task. All right, we'll get started with the program. I will now be calling up our first inductees presenter, who was chosen by our inductees to say a few special words on their behalf, starting with Pete Carroll, head coach for men's and women's cross country and track and field, who will introduce Marc Jeuland. Pete? Sorry, that should be good. Of course, I had to mess with it.
You said you'd put it back the way you
I did, or at least I was trying. All right, that should be okay, Pete. Oh, of course. Okay. Right, you still. All right. Thank you, Pete.
Thanks.
Thank you, Steffi.
It's unscrewing, so.
Engineering majors?
Got it.
Thanks.
Woo! Thank you, Steffi.
Thank you, Steffi. Thank you, Steffi. Greetings to the members of the Board of Managers, President Smith. It'll work. Greetings to the members of the Board of Managers, President Smith, campus partners. Thank you to the Hall of Fame Committee for all your work. Thanks to our athletic administration for acknowledging and supporting the need to continue this annual celebration. And thank you to the dining crew for this wonderful feast. I've had the good fortune of having been around a while at Swarthmore and witnessing wonderful athletes that have frequented our playing fields.
regarding the honorees for tonight. I remember Genevieve Pezzola as a kill machine. I remember Travis Pollen like a dolphin hunting for mackerel. Katie Lytle produced nightly double-doubles, and she was a medalist at the Centennial Conference Championships as a member of the track and field team, I'm proud to say. Annie Fetter could have earned a varsity letter and a starting position in every sport Swarthmore offered. I was not around for Mr. Stetson's tenure, but I remember his name being mentioned in reverence by the old guard in the late 80s. However, I am primarily here for Marc Jeuland. Swarthmore College has always prided itself as a place where superhero effort is elementary, and the student population has always submersed themselves in the part-time misery poker that comes with it. I'm sure the older grads remember going to the campus bookstore when it was up on the hill that sold shirts that proclaimed expressions like guilt without sex, and anywhere else and it would have been an A. So tonight I have a superhero story about Marc. Marc was an honors major. Marc was also a national class distance runner. And as a senior, Marc had the privilege of competing at the track and field national championships in Decatur, Illinois, while having to fit in his oral honors exams before the event of Zoom or Skype. So in late May, we flew out to Champaign from Philadelphia on a Wednesday. In Decatur, Marc ran the 10,000 meter final on Thursday afternoon, pushing through a side stitch for the last 2 miles, finishing 6th and achieving All-American status. We both woke up at 4:30 Friday morning to drive the hour back to Champaign from Decatur so that he could catch a flight back to Philadelphia that morning. He took his 3 orals back at Swarthmore campus, fueled by just an airport fruit cup for breakfast, and then caught the 7:30 p.m. flight back to Champaign the same day. He then raced the 5,000 meter final on Saturday early afternoon, running the last 600 meters under a tornado warning, with only competitors, the timer, and 8 coaches in attendance around the track as the stands had been evacuated. This is true. I'm not embellishing. And this time he finished 5th in the 5,000 overall for a second All-American honor in 48 hours. Pretty superhero in my book. I finally want to thank Marc because he was on the student committee as a team captain to hire a track coach at Swarthmore in the summer of 2000. He supported my application and gave me credibility in front of my new team because he knew of me when I was coaching at Franklin and Marshall prior to my hire here. And as a thank you at his own graduation, he gave me a book on the history of the U.S. concerning the ideas of 4 prominent Americans around post-Civil War era that I still proudly possess in my library. Without further ado, I present Marc Jeuland, 2001 graduate and a new member of the 2024 Class Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Marc.
Well, thanks, Pete, for those words, and appreciate everyone coming out here as well. It is a great honor to be back here for this. I wasn't exactly sure how this Hall of Fame thing worked. And to be honest, when I came into Swarthmore as a freshman, I never would have imagined this because I wasn't even a runner at that point. So this is a quintessential, I think, Division III college Swarthmore story. I had run a couple of years of track, didn't really have coaching in high school, And so when I came to Swarthmore, I decided to, do what I was always doing in high school, which was soccer. So I played a fall semester of soccer, but I was a small soccer player and got pushed around, didn't really belong on the field. So I decided, with a pair of buddies that I'd walk on for the track team, the indoor track team. And so, just took off from there, and they convinced me after my freshman year to join cross country, started running through muddy fields, and somehow made the second team centennial that year. And, at that point I was hooked, basically. So it is not a story that would have occurred in another type of university where athletics is more professionalized. And I really do appreciate the Division III sort of commitment to amateur athletics as a result. I have a lot of fond memories of running here on a indoor track that was very peculiar. Strange distance. It wasn't 200 meters, so you had to sort of calculate where every race started, and you didn't quite know what pace you were running ever. And then the outdoor track being refurbished during my time here, so it became known as one of the fastest tracks after that, but not when I had begun. My singular talent on the track, and probably in cross country as well, was that I could just run a pace. I wasn't fast. I wasn't a speed demon in the final 400 meters, but I could really hold a pace. So I was kind of known for setting the tempo in the workouts and doing that on a daily basis, which is sort of, how I live my life as well, is try to steadily take on everything that I can. The school supported this insane attempt to double at the national championships. I remember sort of asking with Pete, petitioning if they could fly me back from my honors exams. It was a very unique situation. And of course they said, yeah, you can do that. And I really learned to love running here. I still do run. It's a big part of who I am. Actually, in 2 weeks, I'll be doing another marathon. After Swarthmore, I took 3 years in the Peace Corps and didn't do that much running while I was living in West Africa. But when I came back for graduate school, I started training in earnest again and, really did excel at the marathon distance. So I really credit my experience here for also making me appreciate the running experience in comparison with many more talented runners who were around me, but who just didn't have the love of the sport that I had from my experiences. And then, of course, a lot of camaraderie along the way with many other fellow athletes. I'm not one for too many words, so I think I'll stop there. But I do hope that the records that remain on the record board do fall soon. So Pete told me that he's got a couple of guys who might go after it this year, and I hope it will finally be the year because records are meant to be broken, and I hope to see those down sometime soon.
I am not going to touch this. I think we're good. All right, at this time, I'd like to call up Sarah James, daughter of Bill Stetson. Sarah will be accepting this induction on behalf of the Stetson family. Sarah?
Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to be here, and thank you so much for honoring my dad. With me here tonight are my sister-in-law, Sally Stetson. You can't hear? Oh, I don't want to touch it. Okay. Sally Stetson, and I wish my brother was here. He passed away recently, Lee Stetson. So she's here to be part of the family, obviously. My daughter, Kristen Mull, and family members Andy Humphreys and Danny Martinez. I literally grew up on this fabulous, beautiful college campus. Whether it was in the stands watching my dad coach basketball or on the sidelines watching him coach soccer. I would visit him in his office, and once I had my license, I would probably visit more than he might have wanted me to, because I would leave practice or whatever I was doing to come and check up on my dad. I learned how to play tennis here from Ed Faulkner, great person. I took swimming lessons here. I saw my first lacrosse game, which I later played in high school and college. As it turned out, I had some athletic abilities, thanks to both my parents, but mostly my dad. Both were so supportive in high school and college and during my coaching years. With that, with Dad's help and guidance, I went to Westchester University, majored in physical education, and taught PE at physical education, not PE, in high school for 30 years while also coaching. What a role model I had. He taught me everything, and always with love and compassion. How to treat your student athletes with respect, empathy, positivity. Dad was a spectacular human being, so caring, honorable, and a true, proper gentleman. He may have been my dad, but he was also my best friend. Dad had a great sense of humor, fabulous storyteller, wonderful listener, and always with a twinkle in his eye. Preparing for tonight brought back so many cherished memories. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing it. I miss him every day, and I'm so proud of him and what he meant to so many people. Thank you again for honoring my dad, Willis J. Stetson, better known as Bill, and congratulations to all the inductees tonight. Thank you so much.
Our next presenter is Marc Sawyer, former teammate, who will introduce Katie Lytle.
I'll get this hype for you, right, Katie? Don't worry. All right, let's see if it falls. Hello, everyone, and congratulations on such an incredible accomplishment. I'm humbled to be in the company of such great leaders, student athletes, and people. My name is Marc Sawyer, and I have the distinct pleasure of introducing the one and only Katie Air Lytle to you all this evening. I was lucky enough to play on the SWAT women's basketball team for 3 years alongside Katie. And like the rest of all of our inductees this evening, her stats were pretty out of this world. I'm going to be honest, I was going to go through them all, but that was kind of already accomplished. But I will revisit them for a bit, just to remind you all of her awesomeness. 2-time All-American, All-American first team, academic All-American second team, back-to-back Gladys Irish Awards winner, Centennial Conference's nominee for NCAA Woman of the Year, after capturing back-to-back Player of the Year awards in her final 2 seasons. Like he said, 3rd player in program history to eclipse 1,000 career points and rebounds. She ranks in all of the categories: career rebounds, career points, inside the top 10 for career blocks, steals, and free throws made. I mean, what position was she? She was all of them, right? I do want to revisit the single game record of 24 rebounds in a single game. For those of you who have watched basketball, play basketball, it's hard to get like a couple rebounds. As when you're 6'5", she's like 5'8", and getting 24 rebounds. It's unbelievable, really. It's unbelievable. And just because she likes to be extra, she decided to compete as a member of the collegiate track and field team in 2014 here at SWAT. And she didn't just compete, she placed 4th in the heptathlon at the Centennial Conference Championships. Unbelievable. I remember she tried to teach me how to throw a javelin one day. It is not as easy as it looks. You're really like extending your arm. Just unbelievable athlete. Can you leave some accomplishments for the rest of us, Katie? Really. But in all seriousness, Katie was one of those players that just made everything look easy. She was able to do it all. I see a lot of similarities between you and Caitlin Clark, Katie, really. She could play any position and not just play it, but dominate it. I'd look down for a second to tie my shoes in the middle of a game, and by the time I looked up, Katie would somehow have scored 10 points, gotten 4 rebounds, a couple of steals, and a block over someone that was significantly taller than her. It was unbelievable. She would make it look so easy that I'd have all the confidence in the world that I could do those things too, only to be humbled by the reality that I indeed was not Katie Lytle. But despite all of this talent, you would never know how accomplished Katie is. She's a mysteriously stoic woman. And I'm so excited to give you all a peek behind the curtain and tell you who she truly is. First things first, the important stuff. Katie is the most internally driven, loyal, hardworking, and dependable person I have ever met. Any goal that is set, she will see it to completion. There is no slacking or doing something halfway with Katie. For example, an important fact about her is that she had a total obsession with cereal at Swarthmore. She would often be seen with a Sharples cup. I'm really glad that this is in Sharples. It brings a lot of good memories back. She would often be seen with a Sharples cup full of this stuff, and then would take another to-go cup for her post-Sharples snack up at the Science Center. Despite this fondness for cereal, she decided one day enough was enough, and she had to quit the stuff. And she decided to end the relationship cold turkey. I tell you, she went from having it with her all the time to just dropping it like it was nothing. She didn't even struggle with the adjustment, and I could not believe it. It would have taken me weeks to get over something like that. She was always so cool. She was cool as a cucumber, and she still is today. She was so much so that any idea she proposed seemed like a good one. I will never forget when she suggested we try a supposed Pittsburgh delicacy, something that her dad liked, I believe. Stay with me here. It was a banana topped with a big old dollop of mayonnaise on top of a banana. Yeah, I will never forget being in this room, eating that, thinking that that was a good idea, only to be searching for the quickest exit. I cannot believe I listened to you on that one to this day, Katie. Katie's also one of those deceivingly competitive people that never really seems like they're competitive, but secretly always finds ways to beat you. She's done this to me for years: basketball, academics, golf, general fitness, track and field, probably any other sport out there. I have a feeling she and I will be going at it on a pickleball court when we're a little bit older, and she will still win, and somehow I will not be annoyed at how good she is. Like I said, one of the most determined and strongest, yet lovable people I have ever met. Katie truly led by example. She was pretty sneaky about it too. Everyone around her would find themselves emulating her without really trying to. She has this aura about her that just calms you and gives you confidence. And she does it without even saying a word. This is why she was selected to be a captain as a junior, which was pretty remarkable considering there had only been senior captains for years prior. It was a perfect choice to have her lead the team, and I can confidently say she was the perfect yin to my total blabbermouth yang. It was her workhorse nature and lead by example attitude that helped us win an ECAC championship my senior year and have one of the best records in program history. Only seldom would you be able to see Katie's emotions on the floor. She always found a way to get the job done and maintain her level head without showing her cards. This is why we extended her nickname from Katie Air Lytle to I cannot believe I still remember this over 14 years later. Katie Air Wolfie Kingdom 22 Player of the Year Lytle. Wolfie because they're pretty sneaky and stealthy and it sounded cool and tough to us 20-year-olds. Kingdom because it was as if the basketball court, the competition, and everything in between was in her reign. And 22 and Player of the Year because, Player of the Year, number 22. It has become immensely clear to me that I have not just always respected you, Katie, but I have always looked up to you. You have fundamentally changed the game of women's basketball at Swarthmore. You have fundamentally changed the lives of every single person you have ever interacted with. And you have fundamentally changed who I am as a former athlete, leader, and person. You've left a lasting imprint on everything you've touched and continue to touch. And you couldn't be more deserving of this honor, my friend. I'm so proud to know you. Congratulations. You didn't want to just jump right up? Come on, you're an athlete. Come on. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to go down this way.
Seat yourself. Madge, thank you for the kind words. When I found out I needed to choose someone to give opening remarks on my behalf, I immediately thought of you. You were essential to my experience at Swarthmore and remained a close friend. Thank you for being here after just returning from a work trip to Hawaii. Everyone should be so lucky to have a friend like you. I was a student when the first class was inducted into the Hall of Fame. It was the fall of my junior year. We made a point to go as a team to celebrate a pep rally in the gym to celebrate the members of the inaugural class. Sitting in the bleachers, listening to the accomplishments and storied athletics careers of that first class, I couldn't imagine my time at Swarthmore would have played out the way it did, and I'd be standing in front of you today. I'm humbled to be recognized alongside those in the Hall of Fame and to be part of the class of 2024. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for this tremendous honor. And thank you to everyone involved in planning and putting on tonight's ceremony. I have countless fond memories of Swarthmore, and tonight is definitely one of the highlights. In thinking about what I wanted to say tonight, a number of ideas and memories came to mind. The more I thought about it, it became clear that there are two things that best capture my experience at Swarthmore and why it is so meaningful to me. The first is personal growth. I've always been someone who has a lot of drive. My dad tells a story from when I was 5 of him doing dishes at the kitchen sink and seeing me in the backyard running the perimeter of the fence. When he asked what I was doing, I replied, running my laps. Swarthmore channeled my drive and encouraged me to test my perceived limits in a number of ways. I became a better problem solver and writer through my coursework. I became a better leader, in large part due to serving as captain of the basketball team. I became more fit. Each year, I became faster and stronger to try to have a greater impact on the court. Along with raising the bar on current skills, I also tried new things. I took a few classes on subjects I wasn't familiar with and stepped into the world of track and field. I picked up the javelin my junior year and took it a step further and competed in the heptathlon my senior year. In a larger sense, Swarthmore led me to embrace having a growth mindset, to remember and appreciate how I got to where I am and continue to learn, be open to new ideas and opportunities, and think about how to improve. It's something I've held on to and an outlook I continue to benefit from and value. The second defining part of my experience is the people. It's why Swarthmore is such a special place to me. It was a privilege to learn from the faculty and to interact with the staff on campus. Sharples in particular comes to mind. The atmosphere helped make Swarthmore feel like a home away from home. As for the athletics department, I have a great appreciation for the coaches, administrators, athletic trainers, and equipment room staff. During my 4 years, it was readily apparent that the department is filled with good people who are dedicated to serving student athletes. I enjoyed being on the track and field team and part of the broader athletics community, and the heart of my experience was the basketball team. One of my favorite parts of the day was the walk to the gym. It meant I was in motion to start my time with the team. On most days, we'd have practice, pickup, or a workout, and then go to Sharples as a team for dinner, and often break off into smaller groups to go study. Game days are what you work for as a student athlete, but it's the day-to-day that resonates with me most. It reminds me of the shared experience and connections made through basketball. I played for coaches who supported and challenged me and had skilled teammates who were there for me on and off the court. I can't say enough about the coaches and my teammates. They enabled me to be at my best and have given me so many great memories. I'm forever grateful for the opportunity to be a student athlete at Swarthmore and cherish my time here. To wrap up my remarks, I'd like to thank those who supported me along the way. While there are too many people to acknowledge individually in this moment, I'd like to say a few words about my teammates, coaches, and family. My teammates made me better, kept basketball fun, and were the foundation of my community on campus. Grateful to have shared the court with Madge and Jenny and the rest of my former teammates. Earning this recognition is a testament to them. Similarly, I owe a great deal to the coaching staff. Coach DeVarney, thank you for seeing something in me and helping me see that Swarthmore was the place for me. Along with Coach DeVarney, I was fortunate to have two dynamic and savvy assistant coaches in Coach Ice and Coach Jen. Thank you to all the coaches for supporting me as both a person and a player. Last but definitely not least, to my family. You cheered me on from childhood hoops in the driveway through my senior year of college. You're always there for me no matter the situation. When something noteworthy happens in my life, you have genuine joy and excitement for me. Sharing moments like this one with you helps make them more special. I'd be remiss if I didn't specifically mention my parents. Properly thanking them would be an entire speech in itself. To keep it brief, Mom and Dad, you're extraordinary people and exceptional role models. One thing I've always known for certain is I have your unconditional love and unwavering support. What an incredible gift. Thank you for everything. Outside of my family, Swarthmore has had the biggest impact on my life. It helped me grow as a person, connected me with a few of my closest friends, and also led me to a career I love. These are a few of the reasons Swarthmore holds a special place in my heart. I'm truly honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Thank you again for this recognition.
Okay, I would like to call up Mark Peterson, class of 78, former assistant softball coach and co-head coach, who will introduce Annie Fetter. Mark.
I didn't think I could leap to the stage like that. So we are now entering the long in the tooth segment of our program. We do love the smell of Bengay in the morning. Good evening. My name is Mark Peterson, class of 78. I was on the coaching staff of women's softball from 1978 to 1994. I had never played any organized sports prior to coming to Swarthmore, and some would say even afterwards. I was what you would call a nondescript flanker back with the Garnet football team of the mid-'70s. That was a team coming off a nation-long 34-game losing streak, which they finally snapped with a heroic last-minute goal line stand on Clothier Field against Muhlenberg in 1975. Swarthmore made the CBS Evening News that night with class of 40 alum Haywood Hale Brune. I had been in Hall of Famer Ernie Prudenti's gym class, and he would drag us out to hold tackling dummies for the undermanned football team. After a couple of days getting beat up by that, I figured, what the heck, I might as well go out for the team. So with all that said, I figured tonight will be the closest I ever get to a Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Now, my association with Ernie and with another coaching legend, Gomer Davies, somehow led me in my senior year to become an assistant coach with the fledgling women's softball program, 1978. Before that, softball had been a club team. We struggled for the first few seasons, but gradually built up a competitive program. When tonight's honoree Annie Fetter arrived in 1985, that all came to final fruition. She was a natural athlete and leader who played with tremendous energy and enthusiasm. When she called out, "Mine, mine, mine," they could hear it down at Mary Lyons. That was infectious, and the team would follow her lead. Annie was an excellent defensive shortstop who could show off a great arm. She was the obvious favorite of Gomer Davies, who would yell out, "Annie got her gun." For those of you under 70, that's a reference to Annie Oakley. In a few seasons, she was joined by 2014 Hall of Fame inductee Barb Schaefer, who was a pitching great, and also All-MAC catcher Lizzie Clark. With that fabulous battery and Annie as the team captain leading the way, the team took off. They had record-setting win totals, and the team was a force in the MAC and the PAIAW. Annie has an incredible knowledge of the game, and I looked at her almost as a player coach. Once she graduated, she stayed on with the visual geometry project on campus working with Gene Klotz. And she also went right into coaching as our pitching coach and later took over the program as head coach. Annie was also assistant coach with field hockey for 8 years. She has served on the board of FOSA and currently with the Garnet Club Advisory Council. She's still active on campus, including working with students in the Student Teachers Program. Annie is a fourth-generation Swarthmore graduate whose great-grandmother was in the class of 1893. Grandfather Frank W. Fetter, class of 1920, was an athlete himself. He saw wall hangings at Dartmouth honoring great athletic achievements and thought Swarthmore should have the same recognition. Frank provided those wooden garnet plaques that adorn the field house today. We are very pleased tonight that Annie's father, Tom, at the young age of 90, is here with us. Hi, Tom. Tom and his brother Bob both played various sports at Swarthmore in the 1950s, including exploits with the Bearcat football team. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that was, but I'm picturing them in raccoon coats and straw hats, arriving at the game in a Stutz Bearcat. All right, well, we'll talk about it later. One other guest I'd like to recognize tonight is our hitting coach extraordinaire, Scott Daimler. Scott? He was the hitting coach in the 80s and 90s, and he pioneered film study with our hitters, giving them great one-on-one instruction, helping many of them who struggled at the plate. And Annie, who ranks among the top hitters in team history with a career average of 363. Take that, Ted Williams. Benefited greatly from Scott's coaching. Thanks, Scott. I know Annie would want us to recognize some of the luminaries at Swarthmore that fought for opportunities for women athletes and were particular boosters of the softball program. Original head coach Gomer Davies was a beloved member of the faculty, coached wrestling, baseball, and softball in his 35-year tenure, and he really provided the foundation for the program. Gomer is in the Division III and also the PA Wrestling Halls of Fame, and you could not graduate without passing Gomer's swim test. Hall of Famer Eleanor Pete Hess was a big softball booster, and as well was our faculty advisor Jane Mullen. Doug Weiss, head athletic trainer, was a big advocate for equality of resources and facilities for women athletes, and he ensured that the team had a dedicated student trainer from Westchester. Finally, Ernie Prudenti was a mentor to Annie and I, providing great advice, helping us get uniforms, equipment, improved field access, spring training funding, and so much more. These Hall of Fame greats continue to inspire us today. Finally, Annie is a true original. I'll never forget spring training trips with her skating around South Carolina or Florida on her inline skates, pulling up on her big hog and leathers looking like a true rebel. She was a great influence on the younger kids on the team, and she also had a way of keeping the team loose. Once she went out to settle down a pitcher who was in a bases-loaded jam. She just stood there looking at all the fielders on the mound. They were waiting for a brilliant stratagem from her, but instead she just casually told a dad joke. Two peanuts were out on the town strolling down Main Street. One was assaulted. The whole infield cracked up. They got a ground ball double play and got out of the inning. That is Annie. Now, there's a rumor she actually told a saltier joke, but my wife told me to keep it clean. Annie was even more dominant in her other four-letter sports, basketball and field hockey. She was the May E. Parry Award recipient for the senior woman who best exemplifies loyalty, sportsmanship, and versatility in athletics while making valuable contributions to the college. She has continued to do this all her adult life. It's my great honor to present my colleague and friend, Annie Fetter.
All right, hey everybody. So I have prepared remarks, but I have to add a couple things because some things have come up in previous remarks. So in the picture that was up earlier when I was covered with mud, some of you will remember Dave Lester in the training room, and that was the day where you'd walk into the field house and Dave would just point at you and go, straight into the showers. Peter suggested I could start for any team, and one day I was freshman year, I went and played tennis with one of the boys on my hall, and we went back to the room and to the hall, and he's like, I found a thing she's not good at. She's not good at tennis. And Marc mentioned that I was very enthusiastic about calling my pop flies, yelling mine, 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 so that putting the fear of whoever you believe in everybody. Part of that is that my dad lost his 4 front teeth when he was playing softball in the Army because the catcher ran into him, even though so I was determined never to let that happen. I am joined by my dad and also my husband, who I met when I was 15 at a basketball camp, but we didn't get married for 20 years. And then my baby sister Marty. I think it's safe to say that my life has been immeasurably enriched by being part of the Swarthmore Athletics community. This started well before I knew it. In fact, well before even my father was born. I have many family ties to Swarthmore College, as Marc mentioned. Also the borough of Swarthmore and much of southeastern Pennsylvania, like the whole Quaker thing, right? But I'll try to stick to the college. As Marc said, my great-grandmother Emily was a member of the class of 1893. They lived in the apartment building that's right across the street from the president's house. Her daughter, my grandmother Elizabeth Pollard Fetter, class of 1925, played field hockey and basketball at Swarthmore. She was captain of the basketball team her senior year. Fun fact about my grandmother, as Brad said, I won the May Perry Award when I was a senior. May Perry was my grandmother's classmate and also her teammate on both the field hockey and basketball teams. So my grandfather, class of 1920, ran track here. Fun fact, if Peter Carroll was still here, he could tell you the story of my grandfather showing up for the alumni track meet when he was like 80 years old. Peter assigned a runner to him, as the family likes to tell it. Stay with Mr. Fetter in case he collapses in the woods. My Uncle Bob was class of 1953 and basically knew everybody on campus. If you worked here for a while, you met him at some point. He played Bearcat football and he wrestled. Bearcat football, by the way, was not really JV football, but it was just a thing that they did. You know, ask my dad about it if you want to know more. Fun fact about my uncle, when I was a student here, Bob ran for alumni council. After his official meetings were over, he would come to my dorm room and talk to my hallmates, and as he put it, get the real skinny on what's going on campus. And then he would tell us ghost stories about the steam tunnels. He was very popular when he showed up. My dad, class of 1956, played Bearcat football, then varsity football, JV basketball, and track. He's still in the top 10 list for throwing the javelin and will be forever because they changed the rules in 1986, so yay. Katie took up javelin. I had a really good arm. I made a ton of errors. None of my fielding records are ever going to stand. But the track coach was like, you should try throwing the javelin. We're just going to try for one day. Either you got it or you don't. And I went out and threw the javelin with Bob Mudrick for one day. I didn't have it, so that was the end of my javelin experience. Fun fact about my dad, he joined the Army after 3 semesters here and served during the Korean War. Upon returning to campus, he again joined the JV basketball team, at which point the coach was Bill Stetson. So we have our connections here. I was constantly playing with, living on the same hall with, or having class with the child of someone my dad or my uncle played with, or whose grandmother was my grandmother's teammate or best friend or who knows what. There's a lot to be said for feeling like you have connections to a place and a community. I could tell tons of stories about my own time here, but I'll just pick out a few to share because, we have limits, right? In basketball, I technically had 5 coaches in 4 years, which, as you can imagine, is less than ideal. Freshman year, I was told I was the point guard, which I'd never done before. The idea that I was our best ball handler did not bode well for the season in general. I kind of figured it out. I don't remember if that's the year that the basketball team slept on the floor of Phi Sig over Christmas break, or if that's what we did every year. Younger winter athletes, count your blessings. Sleeping on the floor of a frat, yes, it smelled like you imagine, and having to cook all your own meals was just as much fun as you think. They've changed that. It's progress, right? We have progress. My sophomore year of basketball, unfortunately, I blew my knee out 2 days before the first game. I had surgery right at the start of finals week, and I ended up taking my finals when I returned to campus. At least I think so, because there were opioids involved, so who knows what really happened. That winter, I spent a lot of time after the holidays in the training room with Doug Weiss, rehabbing my knee to get ready for softball, because basketball was a wash. Any of you who knew Doug or spent any time in the training room back in the 80s would not be surprised to hear that my most vivid memories of that winter break are of me strapped into the Cybex machine, cranking out reps, while Doug sat next to me, encouraging me in his quiet but insistent voice, while he was drinking a Rolling Rock or chewing tobacco. By the way, the whole blowing out your knee ACL thing, it makes me a member of a very small Hall of Fame subgroup, people who blew out their ACL. I think there's 3 of us, me and Rob Ruffin and Julie Noyes. I'm happy to take other candidates. We'll let you in, but it's not a group anyone wants to be in, but there you go. My junior fall, I had to take a Tuesday-Thursday class from 2:40 to 3:55, which is not ideal for an athlete, but it was a required music course, and they only offered it every 2 years, so not a lot of choices. One game day, I was taking an exam in my uniform. I told the coach I'd be at the game like right when not puck drop, when we had a bully, when we still had bullies in field hockey. I'm working on the exam when the professor, Peter Graham Swing, exclaims, "Annie, don't you have a game today?" And I was like, well, yeah. He's like, well, just take the exam with you and do it later and put it in my mailbox in the morning. Out I went. To be clear, this is the same music department who, for my senior gift, someone was traveling to Europe, someone was doing string quartets, they gave me a copy of the book, The Art of Hitting 300, which was written by Charlie Lau, the legendary hitting coach of the Kansas City Royals. So they knew exactly what I was at college to do. I never left the area after college, so I've gotten to know many community members by playing intramural volleyball, soccer, and basketball. I see Jim McCambridge is here, and Larry Shaw, and Jim Bach. We played together. And basketball, my husband Steve played with us as well. Did that for, 20 years. I've been to a lot of games, both home and away. That's how I get to know people like Katie Lytle's family. And, you love seeing people who are supporting everybody, and it's fun to watch. So there's been a fairly regular noontime basketball game in the gym over the last 20 years, maybe actually longer. And I've been fortunate to get to know many of the current coaches and administrators, and you can tell a lot about someone by how they play pickup basketball, right? If you've played, I know a few of you are here. Hi, Brian. On Sunday, I am actually headed to New Zealand to represent the United States at the World Masters Field Hockey World Cup. And thank you. 2 years ago, when we were at the Masters World Cup in Cape Town, South Africa, this is a great way to plan where you're going to go next, right? Try to make the team and go wherever they're going. Our captains asked us to share our field hockey origin stories. It was actually a lot more moving experience than you might think. Several teammates were actually overcome and cried when they told their stories, because these stories included trials and tribulations, exaltations, everything in between, and it showed that participation in sports at a high level is an adventure, an experience, a privilege, and a joy. It also reiterated the fact that none of us do this by ourselves. Many stories highlighted family sacrifices of time, money, or both, and more to provide opportunities for aspiring athletes. Right after high school, when I learned that I'd been named to the Vermont Senior All-Star basketball team, I called my parents, and my dad answered the phone. And when I told him why I was calling, he said, "We did it. We." All of us here got here through our own hard work and some good fortune, but also because there were always people watching out for us and supporting us. And my thanks to everyone who played that part for me. Thank you.
I'd like to call up Kazmira Wick, former assistant coach and current head men's and women's swimming coach at Arcadia University, who will introduce Travis Pollen.
Hello. I had the very unique opportunity of starting my college coaching career here at Swarthmore. And as a young coach, I did not realize how fortunate I was to be working with such incredible individuals that would later go on to do incredible things in their lives. One of them being Travis Pollen. Over the years of coaching, I've learned a few things about athletes. One of them is that if an athlete wants to do something, an athlete will find a way to do it. And if an athlete doesn't want to do something, an athlete will find an excuse, or two, or three, or four, or half a dozen. Travis really wanted to have an American record, and so he found a way. And he found a way, regardless of all the crazy things that coaches do, yelling at you at practice, telling you to kick harder, push off the wall better, stop breathing, and of course, swim faster. And as with any college athlete, and with all the trials and tribulations that happened during your college years, Travis could have come up with any excuse to not do the hard sets, to not do the morning practices, to sit back at the end of the lane and just cruise. And he could have come with the one excuse that probably no coach could argue with. "Coach, I can't. I have one leg." But he never did that. Travis wasn't about excuses, he was about finding a way. And so every time I would make a crazy request of him, he would simply look at me, give me a little smile, say, "Okay," and push off and do the set. And the pursuit for his American record didn't stop when practice stopped. Travis recorded everything. He recorded all the practices he did, he recorded how he did in them, and to this day, he is the only swimmer I have ever worked with that wore a heart rate monitor for every single session. I was talking with Travis and asking him a few questions about a few stats here and there, and I realized I could probably ask Travis, "What was the workout that you did on November 1st, 2009, and what was your average heart rate?" And Travis could have looked it up and told me exactly what it was. And he did this because he knew that his journey was a long one, and he wanted to be able to look back over the year and see where he did well and where he wanted to do better and how he could progress. And he left no stone unturned, and I think that's part of the reason why he's a sports scientist now, continually looking for metrics and ways of being better. His efforts paid off. He became an American record holder in the S9 Paralympic class for the 50-yard freestyle and the 100-yard freestyle. and he broke his own record in the 100 free once. And he also took a couple of national titles as well. Now, Travis, he took swimming very seriously, but he never took himself too seriously. He always showed up to practice with a clear intention to work, a clear sense of gratitude, and a clear sense of joy on the journey that he was on. And at one point, we were sitting at a sports banquet, and a coach was talking about her land athlete who was unique because her athlete was able to jump higher on one leg than two. And Travis looked at me and said, "Me too." And it was very hard not to laugh in that moment, but somehow I kept it together. So Travis, he gave me a gift as a young coach of having all the qualities you could ever want in an athlete. He was focused, he had a true sense of desire, determination, gratitude, and of course, an American record. Travis, thank you for being the person that you are and the athlete that you are, and thank you for teaching me how to be a better coach. Congratulations and welcome to the Hall of Fame.
After all the trees I killed printing out every reading at Swarthmore, I promised myself that I would go paperless after that. So it's now 12 years later, and here I am. So I never expected to be here today getting inducted into an athletic Hall of Fame because I was born with one leg. And being born with one leg, it wasn't a given that I was going to lead a normal life or that I would learn to swim or break any records or be inducted into a Hall of Fame, yet here we are. And of course, I couldn't have done it alone, so I have narrowed my gratitude list down to a top 10, and I'll share them in more or less chronological order. So first, I would like to thank my parents, who are here today, for supporting all of my athletic pursuits, no matter how crazy they may have seemed. My mom, in particular, made sure that dinner was ready as soon as I got home from swim practice in high school, and I can assure you that there's no hungrier human than the one post-swim practice. And also my dad, who came to as many high school and college swim meets as his work would allow. Number 2, my childhood next-door neighbor, Jeff, for letting me splash around in his pool every summer growing up, which sparked my love of swimming originally. Buoyed up by the water, I can remember from a very early age feeling so comfortable that my disability faded away. Number 3, my high school and club swim coaches for seeing potential in me even when I was the slowest person on the team, and for setting a foundation of relentless work ethic that I carry with me throughout my swimming career and through this day. Number 4, to my best friends, Scott, Phil, and Dan, for trying out for the high school swim team, even though none of us had ever swum competitively before. Our early morning carpool sessions and summer practices are some of my most grueling and fond memories. Number 5, all of my college swim coaches, which included Sue Davis, Casimira Wick, Andrew Beggs, Leisha Schaefer, Corey Sanders, and Charlie Kennedy. They were gracious enough to give me a spot, first of all, on the Swarthmore swim team, and put me in the lineup every single meet, even though I never scored a single point. There would not have been any record-breaking performances without their world-class guidance. Number 6, my college teammates, especially 2 in particular, Santiago Lombo, who literally carried me on his shoulders after I broke the American record to the cool-down pool. And also Ann Miller, who was inducted into this Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. She was a fierce competitor and a tireless training partner as I was preparing for my first Paralympic Nationals. Number 7, Swarthmore College for financially supporting me and a coach for our trips to Paralympic Championships. Having Sue or Kaz at those meets was invaluable. Number 8, Swarthmore's Athletic Communications Department, specifically Mark Anskis, for sharing my story with the world, including putting my face in Sports Illustrated and getting me on TV twice. Number 9, my fiancée, Kate Mom, who's also here today, for putting up with me reeking of chlorine once again after I joined a master's swim team last year. Sorry, Kate. Although I didn't meet Kate until the year after I graduated Swarthmore, my swimming career led me to pursue a career in fitness, which led me to meeting Kate. And number 10, last but certainly not least, Swarthmore Athletics Department for honoring us all today and organizing this beautiful ceremony. From doing one-legged backflips off my neighbor's diving board to diving off the blocks as a college swimmer at Ware Pool and traveling the country for Paralympic meets, it was a wild ride that I wouldn't have been able to go on without the support of my incredible team. So thank you so much.
Okay, please welcome our head volleyball coach, Harley Chostic, who will introduce Jenny Pezzola.
Good evening, everybody. Look at that picture in the middle. That was intentional, Slam. Okay. So again, good evening. My name is Harley Chostic. I'm the head volleyball coach. I've been at Swarthmore since 2002. Congratulations to all the inductees this evening. What an amazing collection of Swarthmore's finest. I'm deeply honored to present, and I will do this because I love to do this. And I know she's listed as Genevieve, but we call her Jenny. But I'm so honored to present Dr. Jenny Pezzola for induction to the Garnet Athletics Hall of Fame. There are a few foundational moments in the history of Swarthmore volleyball. The Garnet started intercollegiate competition in 1951. The program got its first full-time head coach in 2002, and we appeared in our first NCAA championship tournament in 2017. A pivotal moment was in 2008 when Jenny and her classmates first took to the court in Tarbell Pavilion on a very hot and humid August day. Her no holding back attitude and advanced skill set helped propel the program to the level of success that has become an expectation of SWAT VB today. The program went from fighting to have a winning record to regional and national prominence. In 2008, her first year, we went 6-19, and the following year we went 19-11. Jenny's mom reminded me today that at our first tournament in her sophomore year, we are at Moravian College, now Moravian University, we won more sets in the first weekend than we had the entire previous year. And is arguably the team highlight of Jenny's volleyball career at Swarthmore. Her junior year, we as the 4th seed upset the reigning 4-time consecutive conference champions Haverford College on their home court to get to our first Centennial Conference Championship final match. We also have a program memento. We have a stolen token that reminds us all of that magical moment. And so any SWAT volleyball alums in here know about this. I'm going to introduce you all. This is Harold. So the story behind Harold is that Haverford team that won 4 consecutive championships, they had this guy on the bench. And somehow he appeared in my office a week later. And then I got a call from that Haverford coach, which is 3 coaches ago. Actually, I got called before he showed up in my office, but he's been in my office for now 12 years. And there are some people in the room that are the reason why he's still here. So that's Harold. So I don't know if he's going to sit there or not. Okay. Jenny was a primary catalyst in this shift in trajectory of the program, and her legacy is present each and every day through the core values of our program. My memories start with recruiting Jenny to Swarthmore. So Jenny's from Oakland, California, and if anyone knows anything about our program, our bread and butter is from Northern California. We have diversified over the years, but I spent a lot of time on the West Coast recruiting players to come east. So I went out to watch her compete in a national qualifier in Anaheim, California. And again, her parents and I, we still laugh about this to this day. She could not kill a ball in the court to save her life. She put the ball in the net, she put it to the back wall. It never landed in to score a positive point. But my coach's eyes saw way past that. I saw the fire, the passion, the sheer determination you saw every time that you saw with Jenny, every time she stepped on the court to play volleyball and basketball. And yes, she is one of those rare breeds of multi-sport athletes that have a special place in my heart, having played college volleyball and basketball myself. She played back-to-back seasons, which we see so much less of as we are more specialized in sports these days. So, the primary core value of our program has always been family. Our students come from all corners of the planet to Swarthmore to learn, compete, and pursue their passions. Family in our volleyball program is about support, accountability, and being great teammates to one another. What better way to share with you all tonight is to hear what Jenny's teammates have had to say about her impact as a teammate, a leader, and a friend. So from classmate Lisa Shang. Jenny, I'm so grateful for our 4 inseparable years together and our many years of friendship since. I've loved our many hours studying by the Globe in McCabe or in the Science Center, where Jenny always had made me laugh despite the Swarthmore stress. I also have fond memories of our pre- and post-game Sharples meals, probably right here, stuffing our faces with phoenixes and wing bar, which were pre-Jenny vegan days. I am so proud of you, but none of your accomplishments have ever surprised me. You are the hardest worker I've ever known, who always strives to be better, and I hope you take this time this weekend to bask in all the amazing things that you did both at Swarthmore and since then. Thank you for being the person you are, and I'm forever grateful that SWAT brought us together. From classmate Hillary Santana. My favorite memories of Jenny were her team huddle pep talks, and the overall energy she injected into our team with her intensity. If we had a slow start, and then she got an incredible kill, it was a spark for the rest of us. There just wasn't a practice or a game that she didn't give it her very best. It was always full out there, and she was a great competitor, captain, teammate, and friend. It was a true honor and pleasure to play by her side for 4 years. I know that her early success in the Centennial Conference inspired me to think it was possible for me to achieve that too. And finally, from her teammate and co-captain Sarah Lambert, class of 2010. Jenny is the most sincere, dedicated, and driven person I've met in my time at Swarthmore, and I continue to be just as impressed with her now as I was when we first met. She has held a significant role in the history of the Swarthmore volleyball program, and more importantly to me, she still holds a significant role in my life and the lives of our teammates 10 plus years after graduating. On an individual level, Jenny was incredibly supportive of me at every juncture. We clicked instantly as friends and found our groove as teammates. She was someone who created rituals on the court with every teammate, whether it be just taking a brief moment together with another teammate in preparation for a match, or a quick glance as a reminder to snap out of it when the point went wrong. There are a few photographs that are forever ingrained in my mind, Sarah's, but also mine, because that's Jenny. That was Jenny every point of every match in 4 years. You can see the passion and excitement from Jenny, which were displays of her tenacious personality that made her the successful leader she was for our team. There's no one I would want to have had more to share the celebrations, a bump set and spike with more than Jenny. Jenny, thank you for your grit, for your passion and love of volleyball, and the boundless energy you came to practice with every day. Thank you for always working above and beyond 110%. Thank you for your relentless pursuit of the next dig and the next kill. We are so very proud of you and your legacy as a Swarthmore student athlete. Congratulations, Jenny. You are so deserving of this honor, and welcome to the Swarthmore Athletics Hall of Fame. Okay.
Coach, thank you for the wonderfully kind words. I'm incredibly honored to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. And listening to the other inductees' accolades, it's extremely humbling to be a part of this impressive group. I think it's extra special to be inducted alongside one of my basketball teammates, Katie Lytle. I do not have the words to accurately articulate my gratitude for my time at Swarthmore and for being chosen as a part of this class of Hall of Famers. And I am an engineer, so I am not exaggerating, as words are not my forte, but I will try. 17 years ago, I was a senior in high school, trying to figure out what college I wanted to go to. I knew I liked math and science, but like many high schoolers, I didn't really understand what engineering was, but I was intrigued. Swarthmore is one of the few liberal arts colleges that offers engineering as a major, and that allowed me to defer my decision on if I wanted to have a career in engineering until I was 22 years old instead of 18. This also allowed me to double major in general engineering and economics, which gave me a more well-rounded education and allowed my parents not to worry about me as much as they would have if I had gone to a strictly engineering school, since they, and quite frankly me too, weren't sure if I would enjoy engineering. I will always be grateful for my education at Swarthmore, as the small-sized classes really allowed me to learn and grow as an engineer. I went off to get my master's in structural engineering and my PhD in civil engineering, and now work for the Army as a research civil engineer, designing and developing blast and ballistic mitigation solutions to ultimately save lives. I love my job and credit the opportunities Swarthmore presented to me as a young adult as a large factor as to where I am today in my life and career. My Swarthmore experience, however, would not be as memorable or enjoyable if it were not for Swarthmore Athletics. I knew I wanted to play volleyball, but I wanted to be on a team that took it as seriously as I did. And let me tell you, and as Coach said, I was very competitive and very passionate about volleyball. When I came to visit Swarthmore as a prospective student, I was excited to see how beautiful the campus was, but when I learned that Coach assigned summer reading and also workout buddies over the summer for accountability, I really started to see myself as a part of the program, as it looked like there was like-minded, dedicated, and passionate individuals that were a part of the team. My freshman year, we only had 8 people on the team, and I was the tallest on the team, which is not tall for volleyball. And to say my vertical or how high I could jump was not impressive is a kind way of putting it. Needless to say, we lost a lot that first year, as Coach said, 19 times to be exact. And I took each loss to heart, which my parents can attest to, as post-game I usually ran through each play with them, frustrated with myself and how I could have played better. While we did lose many games that year, we also gained a lot. We learned how to play side by side, how to play when the odds were stacked against us, and our team quickly became a family. All of us had to play positions we hadn't played in years or at all, just so we could feel the team. My teammates' selflessness and willingness to play outside of their comfort zone and truly be team players was just one sign of the hard work and dedication our team displayed that year. My sophomore year, we had a few more players on the team, and we were able to completely turn our record around from 6-19 to 19-11. It felt like each year on the team, we kept achieving new goals and setting higher ones for the next year. And watching the program over the years after we graduated, it was obvious that trend continued. In 2017, just 5 years after our class graduated, I got to watch the team compete in the NCAA Sweet 16. The trajectory of the program has been wonderful to watch, and I know my teammates and I are so happy to see the program continue to be successful. There are truly too many memories for me to share, both on and off the court. Whether it was our comeback win as underdogs against Haverford, our ridiculous and ridiculously loud cheers after aces or kills, our Sharples brunches or road trips or talent shows, I loved every bit of it, and I'll cherish it forever. When I got to Swarthmore, I wasn't even sure if I would be able to be on the basketball team, so I want to thank Coach DeVarney for giving me the opportunity to be on the team and play all 4 years. The experience came with incredible memories and lifelong friendships, including one of my best friends, Matt, who's here tonight. One memorable game, we won in double overtime against F&M, and I went 8 for 11 from the three-point line. After the game, I called to tell my dad, and I guess he watched the live stream, as my parents often did if they couldn't make it out to the games, because as soon as he picked up, he asked, "Why did you stop shooting?" On that note, I want to thank my parents Without their sacrifice, driving me all over California for practices and games and tournaments, without them actively deciding to spend their precious free time with me, either as my basketball coach, Dad, or my Girl Scout troop leader, Mom, without their encouragement, picking me up when I was down, relating to sports or not, and without them showing me how to work hard and never give up, I wouldn't be where I am today in my life, in my career, and definitely not here being inducted into the Swarthmore Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you guys so much. I love you more than words can capture. I want to thank my teammates, who are some of my closest friends to this day, Lisa, Hillary, Kat, Allie, Danielle, Brown, and Kearney, and Slam, who's here tonight. You guys are what made this honor possible. Without you, your hard work, your passion, your inability to quit when times are hard, I would not be here tonight. Coach, thank you for taking a chance on me, even when you came to a recruiting tournament and I played like someone who's never even heard of volleyball. Thank you for providing a safe space and a family for those of us far away from home. And thank you for believing in your team to succeed when most thought it wasn't possible. And thank you for pushing me to be the best I could be. I want to thank my family and my partner for making the journey here to support me. Thank you all so much. I love you, and this means the world to me that you're here. I also want to thank the Swarthmore Athletics Department for their support during my time at Swarthmore, and I want to thank the selection committee. I am deeply honored and humbled to be a part of the Swarthmore Athletics Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Okay. In closing, I would like to acknowledge and thank the following for their support and commitment to this event. Our dining services staff, there are some of them around. Our offices of advancement and alumni relations, in particular, she's standing over there, Michelle Albert, Director of Advancement Events. Thank you, Michelle. Our communications office and our facilities department. So thank you for all your help. We'd also like to thank Val Smith, our president, and acting provost and dean of faculty Kathleen Howard for all their support for our student athletes and programs. A thank you as well to our alums, family, and friends here tonight, and for all those who could not be with us that make Swarthmore College such a special place of inspiration, community, and discovery. One more round of applause for our inductees. We are not quite done, so if I'm going to invite our inductees and their families and friends to join us at Tarbell Pavilion for the official unveiling of the Hall of Fame display. There is some fanfare that's going to happen as we get down there, so if we can start working our way down, that would be great. All right, thanks and congratulations again. Drive home safely, everyone.